Right, back live with you tonight here on In Focus. The police minister, deputy minister, and those in the department send condolences following the news of the passing of 4 of the South African National Defence Force members. Meanwhile, police are investigating now the deaths of the 4 members who died in Orkney in the northwest. Now, it's believed that they may have died due to suspected carbon monoxide poisoning. The soldiers were part of an operation aimed at clamping down on illegal mining. Spokesperson Siphiwe Dlamini joins us now for more on that. Sibal, good to have you, and thank you very much for your time. So as part of their operation, where the members expected to be deployed into the shafts underground, how was this operation carried out?
Well, we remember there's an operation called Volum, which is a South African Police Service-led operation, and we as the South African National Defence Force are supporting the South African Police Service in that operation, and we've been working throughout the hotspots that have been identified in the planning of our operations, and these members had taken up their duty on Friday.
Now, taking up their duty, the one issue, for example, that Deputy Minister General Bantolomisa would have raised is that our defense and our military members are not properly equipped for operations. Were they properly equipped for this operation? Do they have the necessary equipment, oxygen, mask, and so on and so forth, considering the kind of environment that they were going into?
I think let's confine ourselves to the said incident. I would prefer that we dealt with the incident as it happened and engage on what could have happened in that incident. I know for a fact that our members had all their requirements when they were deployed, and they were in that deployment in support of the South African Police Services.
With the South African Police Services present there, what would they have had to do in terms of going ahead without the police also being affected by this?
Remember, this is a shift that was carried out by the South African National Defence Force. They work in shifts, and they work together with the subs who were there themselves. But when they left the members to continue with their operation, they were discovered when they came back in the morning with the changing of the shift, and they realized that their members had passed on. So this was a 24-hour shift, and when there was a changing of shifts, that's when the members were discovered to have passed away.
Of course, an inquest will now give us the details, but from the preliminary findings, is there suspicion of foul play?
No, not at all. Fortunately, when this incident happened, the subs were called in, and they did their inspection of the place where the members were found, and they confirmed that there was no foul play, and secondly, there were no injuries on the 4 members. All their rifles were in place, intact, together with the members, and all their other belongings were also intact. And subsequent to that, the forensic was called in from Pretoria, who actually examined the bodies, and the initial preliminary investigation or the preliminary thought is that they may have succumbed to carbon monoxide poisoning during the night.
How is this going to then affect that operation, Volum?
Look, in any operation, it is very sad to lose members, and I can imagine those colleagues who are working with them, how they feel and what impact it has had on them. But we do have support systems in terms of social workers dealing with such eventualities. But I'm sure our people are very determined to deal with the scourge of illegal mining, and the operation will continue. So the support from your social work and other support is at hand for those members that have lost their colleagues.
Yeah. So if I understand that you're saying this support is a long-term kind of arrangement that is set to continue with the South African National Defence Force. It's not necessarily going to affect that collaboration.
No, no, no. Remember, the operation is a national operation that is conducted to deal with the illegal mining, and there's been a success thus far of closing of mines, and a number of people have been arrested. So that operation continues. What I'm saying is that we do offer services to those members that have been affected by the loss of their colleagues. And that does not mean the operation will stop simply because we've had a tragedy of losing our members in that kind of a situation. Our members know that they're supposed to do their job and they'll continue doing their job. We will offer support to those that have lost their colleagues and the affected families.
Plans in place for the authorities, political heads supposed to be meeting with the families of the deceased?
Come again, I missed.
I'm saying, are there any plans in place for the political heads to be meeting with the members of the families of the deceased?
Well, this is the process that we follow. Once a member has departed in the line of duty, we send social workers and we send our chaplaincy to go to the families to officially deliver the sad news. Following which, and meanwhile, all the time, our principals are informed on what we have done. And depending on the schedule and the plans, our principal are always at hand and advise when to visit the families of the deceased members. So it's always catered for that. When principals are ready, they would meet members of the family. If I may, the minister yesterday was at a funeral of one of the members who passed away in the Democratic Republic of Congo. The funeral took place in Soweto yesterday. So she in person was there, and we will make arrangements should time allow that she may visit the families. But in many instances, the minister would attend funerals of members.
So, well, could we appreciate your time? Thanks so much for coming on, speaking on behalf of the South African National Defence Force there. An inquest now into the death of 4 members of the National Defence Force who passed away in Orkney, Northwest Province, because it seems from preliminary investigation of carbon monoxide poisoning. Right.